This is a 2021 Discovery Sport. Don't get confused with the actual Discovery because these two vehicles are nothing alike. And today I'm going to show you why. Let's start walking around and where I can show you some of the design elements on this Discovery Sport. Starting with the front end, very nice design, very reminiscent of the Range Rover Sport. And as you can see, the headlight design is absolutely beautiful. It has this three-dimensional design to it, where the edge of the running lights here goes into the headlight assembly itself. And we can see here as well the grille, very similar to that what you would find in a Range Rover Sport. You also have these cavities here where the air flows, comes out the back and preserves that airflow around the side of the car for fuel efficiency, reducing drag and such. But it also looks nice and sporty. You can see the fog lights right at the bottom. It all ties together very well. Now this is the Discovery Sport P250 SE trim, so it's got a few upgraded features. There's quite a different trim levels that you can get on this vehicle, and I will show you that on the screen here. Along the sides we can see very nice clean lines, reminiscent as well of the Range Rover Sport. And take a look at these fender flares, finished in a black plastic with this little edge, this notch that comes up. It is a nice design element and it gives it that off-road appeal. Moving along the back, we can see the tailgate here. It is electronic tailgate. It's a power tailgate, and as you can see, plenty of space for storage. Along to the interior of the vehicle, the design itself is simplistic, very beautiful, reminiscent of that what you would find in a Range Rover or Range Rover Sport. Now I do have a complaint to make on some of the materials in here and how they feel. As you can see here, the dashboard to me feels very rubberish, something that you would find in a much cheaper vehicle. Now I do like that it has this flat finish so that the sun doesn't reflect onto the dashboard and hits the windshield and blocks your view. But the feel itself, I'm not quite sure I like it. Now the rest of this leather as well, I'm sure that it's very durable, but it does have this feeling of just kind of like very fine sandpaper. Now the leather around the steering wheel is good. The steering wheel itself could have been a little bit thicker, but I do like the leather around it. I like the look of the steering wheel and the controls along the steering wheel. Now they're not the best and the most intuitive controls, but you know, they work okay. Let's start the engine. get the AC going. It's getting kind of hot in here. Now along the door you have your memory, seat memory here, or your driver memory. You can configure, you know, the seat position and all that. Door lock, your Meridian speaker here for the Meridian. I got another complaint as well. These seats are kind of uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. The edge of the seat, at least on the driver's side, I feel the seat itself is offset a little bit to the left, and this bottom piece here, it just kind of like gets on my thighs here, and it's just not, I just can't find a very comfortable position, to be honest. Now adjustability of the seat is great. You do have a lot of adjustability here. You can go all the way up here to be able to see over the hood, or all the way down. It all depends if you like to get down or not. Now let's get to the business, the tech business, that is, because this car has a lot of tech, and it's quite nice. I do like how everything looks here, the configuration of it, the piano black. A lot of these buttons, and I'll show you that in a second, are multifunction buttons. You can use these to change the temperature on your side of the cabin. You can change the seat temperature if you want to put heated seats or cool seats. Actually, this one doesn't have the cool seats. I don't think any of the trims have the cool seats, but hey, you do have the button here. On this side here, if you hit the auto for your drive mode, you can change to eco, you can change to auto, you can change to comfort, or you can simply choose from grass, snow, dirt. I think that's a pretty nice feature. I do like these buttons, they work well. The navigation system here is touch. It feels good to the touch. It's easy to reach. I wish they would have tilted it forward a little bit more. It's kind of tilted back too much, but you know, I've been using it to play music and use the navigation and such, and it works okay. In the middle right here in the dashboard, you do have a pretty nice clean design and an LCD screen that displays, you know, a lot of relevant information, and you can choose a lot of this information. It comes standard here. You can see you have your speedometer, your RPM, and then in the middle you have options to choose what kind of information you want to display there. You can have a map, you can have driving information, you can have vehicle information, all kinds of stuff. And you can also change the entire layout of the dashboard, so you can display your map in here if you wanted to. Right here in the center you have, you know, the shifter. It's a new design that a lot of manufacturers are implementing, and basically you have your park button to park the vehicle, then you have reverse, drive, neutral, and you can also engage sport mode, where you can manually change or shift gears. Now if you move the shifter by itself, it doesn't really do anything. Now if you apply force to this button, if you depress this button back here, then it engages a gear. In this case I engaged reverse. If you move it again without pressing that button, it's just going to take you to neutral. It's not going to engage any other gear. You have to push this button back here to either go into reverse or drive. And there is 2 ticks to this whole thing, so if you go back 1, that just goes into neutral. Now if you push all the way through, that gets you into the actual gear. Here in the center you have your center console, a little bin for storage in here. You do have 2 USB connectors here, a micro SIM and a charger, 12-volt charger right here, as well as in here you have another USB charger and wireless charging. To 2 cup holders here, one smaller, one larger for larger drinks. And then you can also take this out if you wanted to remove this. And you can also take this out if you wanted to remove this entirely and fit your purse in here. Overall, the seats are nice and the leather feels very good. I wish the bottom piece was more comfortable. That's really my only complaint. There's a lot of adjustability, lumbar support. You can find the right adjustment for you if you look hard enough. Now let's go to the back and take a look at the back seat. Whoa, okay. The back seats are a nice place to be. There's plenty of leg room. There's plenty of headroom. You have this center arm console here with a little cubby to put things, all your drinks. And best of all, the seats are adjustable, so you can move them forward or backwards. I believe there is the option to have a third row in these SUVs, so that's also an option. You have a little bit of storage here, and there's adapters that Land Rover sells that you can clip onto this portion here to hang your jacket, put an iPad, etc. The back part of the seats is also adjustable, which is nice. Oh yeah. And then obviously, let's not forget about the panoramic sunroof, which really opens up the area and allows both front and rear passengers to take in the world above us. Right, so driving the 2021 Discovery Sport. And again, as I mentioned, the seat very adjustable but uncomfortable at the bottom. The steering wheel could have been thicker, but it does feel nice and definitely looks nice. And visibility, it's quite nice. I can see all around. The back window is a little bit tight, but you know, not a major problem or inconvenience. In terms of the ride comfort, this is a strut over coilover suspension. It's not airbag as you would expect in other Land Rover products, so it is noticeable. You can actually feel that going over bumps and other imperfections on the road. The brakes are good. There's a lot of braking power. However, the initial bite on the brakes is quite aggressive. I wish they would have dialed that back just a little bit, because it makes it a little bit uncomfortable. There's also some kind of weird cross shift, weight shifting, depending on, you know, going over certain bumps where the back left and the right front kind of like dip. The transmission tuning as well as the lag coming from the turbocharger on this vehicle make it a bit uncomfortable to drive at times, because it seems either you have to go very, very smooth or very, very aggressive, but if you try to manage in between, it doesn't feel like a very luxurious ride. It feels like a very jumpy ride. Going over certain bumps, I can feel the steering wheel also jerk a little bit, which is not very reassuring. Overall, it's very comparable to a lot of the vehicles this size in terms of interior noise, ride comfort, and all that. I don't mean to be too harsh on the vehicle itself, but when we're comparing it with vehicles like the Audi Q5, the Mercedes GLC that I just reviewed, so make sure you click above to go check out that review. But you know, in comparison to something like the Lexus RX, it feels like this vehicle is missing some things. An entry-level vehicle, in my opinion, is one that leaves you wanting more of the brand. This one, I feel like it leaves you wanting to go for another brand. The engine auto start off and on system is quite jerky as well. Sometimes sitting on traffic, when it comes on, the entire car shakes a little bit. It vibrates when the engine starts. A vehicle at that price point in this segment, you would think that that shouldn't happen. Corner stability is not the best. You do feel a lot of sway when you turn. Right now I'm doing 38 miles an hour. I'm turning, and it doesn't feel very capable on the turns, which is very unlike Discovery, right? Discovery was one of those vehicles that introduced that stability control where you could really zigzag and the car will remain very stable due to that hydraulic sway bar system. This one doesn't have it. The dashboard features I really like. I like how configurable the screen is. You can choose to have one dial on the screen, you can choose to have none, you can display your map, trip, summary information, all kinds of stuff. Now, it's not very intuitive, and one of the things that I hate is that once you select a feature, you sort of have to wait until the vehicle feels like displaying that feature, because if you keep playing around with the menu options, it just stays there. It doesn't go into the feature that you selected. And I've been playing around with it, and I haven't figured out a way to get back into the main menu. Kind of disappointing and annoying. I'm a big fan of the Land Rover brand, especially the design, the look of it, and I think this car gives you a lot of that. It has a lot of similar design cues as those other more expensive models, such as the Range Rover Sport, etc. And interior design is right there with it, right? You do have that look, distinctive look of a Range Rover, Land Rover product. However, in my opinion, well, there's already a noise in the front suspension, and this vehicle has 11,000 miles. So as I was saying, you do have a lot of the features here. You have the design, you have the look, but I think they really neglected to tie it all together on the drive. Transmission tuning needing refinement, the engine tuning needing refinement, the lag of the turbo coming in way too late and giving you that aggressive jerk, along with the driving dynamics, I feel makes this vehicle not very distinctive Land Rover. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.